I also have one with Tim Bishop. So if I get a representative, U.S. representative, come on down, take a seat.
Oh, excellent. Oh, that's great. I was so sad that I missed it. I think I was out of town. I don't recall exactly what it was.
Yeah.
And did you drop stuff over there? Yeah. Oh, there's some donuts and things of that nature.
And there's coffee also. Anybody wants it? Yeah. So.
Okay. Well, if I can help you out anyway with that,
one of my big thing is first of all I couldn't understand it. You know, I mean, if I could get a federal senator to say yes and a federal representative, they were able to do it. I think that I should be able to. We should be able to get one. Okay. I'll start with the concerns, and then go on if you want to, or Dan wants to jump in.
And if you want, I can just, formally, again, introduce myself.
Yeah, you can start.
Okay. Yeah. Well, good evening, everyone. As you all know, since I've introduced myself to you personally, I am a councilwoman in the town of Brookhaven. This is my district. I cover Council District 1, which covers areas such as Stony Brook, Port Jefferson Station, and Setauket, and all of the villages, Port Jefferson, Poquat, Oldfield, and Belterre. I have been in office since January of 2014, and I've had the pleasure of knowing Frank and his wife prior to coming into office. And when I learned of the great outreach that he's doing for sarcoidosis, I said I'd like to help in any way possible. I know limited amount of information. I'm related to the disease. I know that it can affect any organs in your body, and it's often misunderstood. So particularly with a disease such as this that can be so easily misunderstood, I think it is very important that there is as much outreach as possible so people know that it actually exists, that it is something that many people may have either close to home for a family member themselves. I know that when I was talking to my staff and other people in the town of Brookhaven about it, I was like, well, what is that exactly? So it's important that we get that information out. As your local representative, I'm willing to do whatever I can to do that. I apologize again for not being able to attend the walk. I wanted to be present, but I do know that you do it on an annual basis. I do know that the town of Brookhaven has acknowledged you and provided you with proclamation and certificates of congratulation in the past. And we'd be more than happy to continue to acknowledge the good work that this organization is doing. So I'm here today, and I thank you for the invitation to hear more about your personal stories and your concerns related to getting this information out, and here to serve you in any way that I can, because as a council person in town of Brookhaven, I work for you. So just let me know what it is that you need.
Well, me being as the president, one of the big things that I've been finding out is that nobody takes it serious. That is the main, because like when you get diagnosed, like I got diagnosed, I can send you my story. In 2004, I was misdiagnosed, and I was told I had cancer. And I literally went through chemo and radiation for 4 years. 3 years, I'm sorry, 3 years. And, to me, I just don't understand. Well, they look alike, a lot alike. But when I went to Mount Sinai Hospital up here, when I finally did move up here, the doctor, Maria Padilla, who happens to be one of the top sarcoidosis doctors. Well, that Mount Sinai is one of the top clinics, and but she told me right off the bat, she's like, they should have known, because even though they look alike, the cells, when you look under the microscope, it's different. Without sarcoidosis, they look like round. I mean, I don't know how you want to call it. They're squares, round circles. Okay. Where cancer cells are kind of scattered. And right there and then, off the bat, it's not cancer. Whatever happened, happened. But a lot of people don't take it seriously because if you look at the, as they say, the mortality rate, it's low. Well, it's low because, and I've given these examples before of like, Bernie Mac is the biggest one. Everybody knows that he passed away. Well, they said he passed away of pneumonia. Well, he had a regular, normal case of pneumonia. The sarcoidosis is what killed him. And that's why his family now has the Bernie Mac, foundation. Because that's the way. And it's not just him. Reggie White, the football player for Philadelphia Eagles, he had a heart. And they said that he died because of a heart problem, not because of sarcoidosis. Michael Clark Duncan, same thing. And if you look at all their death certificates, they don't say sarcoidosis on them. So that's why the mortality rate for sarcoidosis patients, it doesn't coincide. So that's one of the biggest things that bothers me is because, yeah, I understand that, they have heart problems, but they didn't have the heart problem until they got the sarcoidosis. Sarcoidosis, as the people who have it know, and some people that have been around it, can hit any part of the body at any point in time. It is called the snowflake disease because it is different for everybody. And this is one thing I don't blame doctors for. I think they should know a little bit more about it, but what works for me may not work for Dan, who happens at sarcoidosis.
Right, even if they both have
the same exact,
same like
sarcoidosis.
even if they're both in the lungs, it may not work the same.
So your body reacts differently?
Yes.
Depending, okay.
So that I can understand why doctors have trouble with, understanding that. But when you get a doctor who just says, all right, go on prednisone and stay on it for, I was on 40 milligrams, which is a lot of prednisone, for a year and a half. My first doctor, for a year, and my first doctor put me on it because he had no idea what to do with it. I ended up having 6 surgeries, in 3 years. And the prednisone hit, I almost died. I had a ruptured, perforation in my colon. And they were going to send me home. Because the prednisone, when they only did an x-ray first of all, and the prednisone blocked it off, and you couldn't see it. So, just so happened, or luckily, my surgeon was in the building, and he heard that I was here, and he asked for a CT scan, or the emergency, one of the doctors asked for a CT scan, and then I was here at night, on a Sunday night, 7:30 in the morning, I was in surgery with a whole bunch of doctors. I don't remember anything until Thursday, except my chances of living were pretty bad, because I ended up with sepsis throughout my whole body. And, things like that, I don't understand, why, to me, that's elementary stuff. If you know I have sarcoidosis, you should know that you're going to have to do more scans than you have to, I think that what the doctors are lacking, is the knowledge of it. And, to me, that's one of the biggest problems I've been seeing. And then the second biggest problem is Social Security. They don't recognize sarcoidosis. They don't recognize. I only got disability because my lawyers, ended up with some good lawyers, they came up with 42 pages worth of things that sarcoidosis has done to me, and that's how come I got. I was in the judge's, because I got declined the first time. I was in the judge's office 10 minutes the second time. He's like, what? Well, I have, because for me, I have sarcoidosis. It's easier for me to tell you where I don't have sarcoidosis than when I do. That's what I always tell everybody. I don't have it in my heart, which thank God. I don't have it in my liver, and I don't have it in my kidneys. Everywhere else is pretty much almost fair game at this point. I have it in my bones. I have it, arthritis-wise, eyes, lymph nodes, lungs, in my GI. All right. So I just think that that you know, somebody needs to take a stand on this. And that's why I'm glad you're here, is because I haven't been able to get, even though I got the proclamations, I haven't been able to actually sit down and talk to somebody about it, anybody. And everybody that you talk to, TV stations, I mean, I got in touch with Channel 12, Danielle Campbell, and she wanted to do a story, but then her boss said no. And the reason there, because of the mortality rate isn't that high, and I'm like, but listen to me, if you understood, you know.
It's being misdiagnosed, so they don't have proper numbers.
And they don't understand that people that do have it, 30% of them suffer.
Oh, yeah.
Suffer so badly. I mean, my husband was on oxygen in a wheelchair 5 years ago, for 5 years. You know, I found great nutritionals that, you know, we got him off of it, but, you know, we had the money to be able to spend on that, where a lot of people don't, so they have to do the medicines. But that's what people don't see, is the suffering that most of the people do. Because they'll come out and, you know, I know how bad Frank suffers, but you can look at him today and he'll put like every ounce of energy to be here and show a good face, and tomorrow he'll be in bed all day. You know, and that's what, you know, because they do try to live somewhat, you know, as much as they can a normal life, or to be able to go out and do the regular things that people who aren't sick do, but they pay for it at the end.
Well, I know that you partner with the Foundation for Sarcoidosis
Yeah.
Research. What type of programs do you do with them to get the information out there?
Well, they have a huge page that they get a lot of information. They have a patient registry. They also have they just put up a new thing that for clinical trials. They have doctors, a listing of some doctors. It's www.stopsarcoidosis.com. .org. Sorry.
Can I add to what Dawn was saying?
Yeah, sure.
This is almost started out like AIDS started out.
Mhm.
Nobody died of AIDS. Everyone died of pneumonia. Well, you got the pneumonia because you had AIDS. And it's almost correlates with the sarcoid. Everybody's being marked that they died from something else, but they wouldn't have had this something else if the sarcoid wasn't there.
The thing with sarcoidosis that a lot of people don't understand is our white blood cells, instead of going to fight it, let's say you have a cold or a disease or infection or something, instead of fighting it, it goes there and they clump up and they make granulomas, which are like, okay? And then that's what affects your organs. So that's our biggest problem. So we don't fight off. Like if I get a cold, and you get a cold, you may shake it off within a week. It may take me a month to shake it off. Or
You get rid of the cold, but then you have scarring
Yeah.
in your bronchus, and then you can't breathe because of the scarring, which never goes away.
Yep. And it's a tough. I mean, I always say, like every doctor when I talk to, they're like, "What's your pain level?" I live on a 6 and a 7 pain level every day. I'm not one for pain medicine because I take enough medicine that knock me out. I couldn't work anyway, even if I wanted to, because of the medicines that I take. I mean, they knock me out. And for me to have another one that I can't even think of to knock out, I like to, during the day, well, when Diana's working and stuff like that, is my time usually to be on the computer to try to get stuff going for the foundation, you know? But there's a lot of days I just can't do it. Either I can't get out of bed, or I'm just so foggy, and like I'm afraid to put something up because I don't know what I'm gonna put up. And I'm sure that happens to a lot of people when it comes down to that. And the biggest thing, and I'm sure you know it and you guys know it, is, well, you look great. You look good from the outside. You don't look sick.
Yeah,
You don't look
invisible
sick.
disease. That's why I can't believe how much you do, and I support you, because I couldn't do that. I spend 3 days in bed to get ready to take my friend's kids for 2 days on the weekend. So I don't know how he does this all the time.
get help. I have a good family.
Valerie, thank you for coming down tonight. Another point I wanted to bring up was, it seems like when I got sick in '05, I was going to Mount Sinai Hospital, and they were seeing like 30 new patients a month. Mount Sinai is seeing over 300 new patients a month now. It seems like it's the greatest secret in the world that nobody's talking about.
That's what I want to say.
They actually built a Sarcoidosis center in Mount Sinai
Yep.
because of the amount of patients they're seeing.
And you have to wait
yet
like
you don't-
months
Yes,
to get in
that's
there.
true. You have to wait months, and yet you don't see anything on the news about it. You know, it's very frustrating.
Are there any other centers other than Mount Sinai that you're aware of?
In this area, not really.
No.
No,
The Cleveland
Long Island
Clinic.
Jewish has, they have certain doctors, but it's not a center. Mount Sinai is the only center in this area. John Hopkins has a center. Cleveland Clinic is huge, and they have a huge center. And Bernie Mac also has their own center in
Yeah,
the
but
Midwest.
outside of that.
I've been lucky enough to find out in the Northeast, my friends want to take me with them when they move to New Hampshire so they can take care of me. In Boston and in the local hospital in Manchester, New Hampshire, they have the Sarcoidosis Center.
Oh, do they
It's
now?
not big like we have.
Oh, okay.
When I called up there, they knew right away what I was talking. Oh yeah, we got specialists came in. I'm like, cool, half an hour away, you know. Now I don't have to worry about moving.
See, like for me, I went to Mount Sinai, I was going to Mount Sinai, but I can't drive because I have sarcoidosis in my eyes. For me to get to Mount Sinai, I mean, A, it's expensive, I'm on disability. B, you know, it's hard. It's hard. I mean, even if you get off if I take the train, I have to take the train to a subway and then walk down a couple of blocks. A couple of blocks doesn't sound like much, but a couple of blocks to me is a lot. I mean, I couldn't even, I had a test. One of your tests that we do is it's a pulmonary test. It's a 6-minute walk. And all you do is walk with this thing for 6 minutes. I couldn't even make 6 minutes. That's how bad my lungs were. So, I mean, so now I'm lucky that Dr. Padilla, she was nice enough to find doctors around this area that are, I love my doctors. I have to say, they're all within Smithtown, Patchogue, and Lake Grove. So, yeah, but, you know, I love them. I love my doctors, I can, you know. And Port Jeff, actually, I have one, Port Jeff, you got my GI doctor. But all of them were basically hand-picked by the Dr. Padilla, except for my GI doctor. But, yeah, everybody else was been
I feel sorry for people that live in different places in the United States. We're very lucky to live in the tri-state area, because we do have specialists, but you go on any Facebook pages, sarcoidosis, they're suffering. They go to doctors who have no idea what it is.
Oh, yeah.
They have no idea how to treat them. You know, it's just a nightmare for these people. I mean, young people.
Yeah, I just got, this one was really, I'm doing a fundraiser for Christmas, for the holidays, for sarcoidosis patients and their families. And it's actually, it's on my page, sarcoidosis of li.com. But it's a GoFundMe. Okay. The reason I'm doing that is because I already have 6 families that are in dire need. I mean, they can't. They don't have the lawyers that we have around here either. They don't. I mean, they've been, one lady 5 times been denied. So and all she's making is $691 in child support, and her rent is $750. And now a child doesn't even have Christmas. And then the one that hit me.
Denied disability as well?
Yep. Now, the one that hit me the most is this one lady who wrote me, her 10-year-old daughter has sarcoidosis. She's had it for 2 years, and she's in and out of the hospital at least 2 or 3 times a month or 2 months, every 2 months. She's in the hospital. And she sent me a picture, and I mean, it's, you know, of her in her bed with giving me a heart to try to help her, you know. And all she wants is a Christmas present for her. And you know, And I put it up on all different types of pages, and nobody